Our special council meeting. We're going to begin with our caucus sheet, and before we get started, I will be presenting a commendation to Olivia Mackey, the director of Camp Christopher, on the occasion of the camp's 100th anniversary. They had a print this for me because I could not see. Come on up, Olivia. Go on and hold this. I want to say thank you for meeting you today, too. It was nice to come there, and I learned a little bit more about Camp Christopher. But, I'm Catholic, and I believe back in the day, we went there when I was a child, but I don't remember because I'm in my 60s, but I know we were coming there. But I do remember going there from Our Lady Guadalupe for my daughter, who attended PSR in Macedonia. But I don't believe my son did, but I know that my daughter's class, she did attend it. I am going to read part of this, and not all of it, because it's quite long. But, Camp Christopher's 100th anniversary. Whereas since 1924, Camp Christopher has pursued an idea to provide children not merely a positive recreational experience, but one that would contribute meaningful to their balanced development. Located on 160 acres in Bath Township, Camp Christopher is the summer home of thousands of young people every summer. The property offers beautiful lakes, forests, a cave, one of few natural bridges in the state of Ohio, springs, wetlands, geologic formations, grassy fields, and more. Whereas Camp Christopher community has continued to evolve over the years to meet the needs of families and children, the camp's long history comes from providing high-quality programming and well-trained staff, but also to be continued adherence to Catholic ideas and fostering of individuality, community, and personal growth and lifelong friendships. And whereas, with an ever-growing reputation for excellence, Camp Christopher has become summer tradition for many families in Northeast Ohio and beyond. Each summer, Camp Christopher serves youths from all over the United States and even from countries overseas. Generations of families have made Camp Christopher their children's home away from home. It is one of very few places and spaces that children can go to today and remain unplugged. After all these years, Camp Christopher continues to foster culture, but on timeless values. In an increasingly fast-paced world, Camp Christopher provides nurturing, supportive environment and in which children can try new things, develop new skills, focus on friendship, take great pride in learning, and proudly pass down traditions to generations of Camp Christopher campers. And now, therefore, be it known that all declared by the Council of the County of Summit, State of Ohio, that this council commends Camp Christopher on its centennial anniversary and its positive impact on the lives of so many children and families as a vehicle to enrich their emotional, spiritual, physical lives beyond the limits of the home or school environment over the last 100 years. We urge all citizens to join in celebrating the milestone on this 20th day of May in the year 2024. Would you like to come up?
Oh,
He could take your picture.
sure.
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Maddie Munoz. I'm one of the program managers at Camp Christopher.
You want him to take one with your picture?
Sure, if you mind.
Yeah. Also, they take donations. I was reading some stuff. They take donations, and they do retreats, so you can go on their website. They do other things besides serve the children. They have adult programs. They also have spiritual programs for married couples.
We like to say we serve people 9 to 95, so we have all different types of programs for people of all ages and abilities. You know, very appreciative of the award and the recognition and just accepting it on behalf of Camp Christopher and being a part of such a great community in Akron. So thank you for all the work that you all do in fostering such a great place as well. So.
Madam President?
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question. I went to Camp Christopher when I was a kid, and so did my brother and my sister. My sister liked it more than the rest of us. I think it was to get away from us, you know. She went to Camp Christopher. It was like paradise out there for her. But do the cabins have air conditioning yet?
That's why they take
It
donations.
is a rustic environment to unplug from phones and
Air conditioning.
yes, and air conditioning.
And then
Right.
also,
We have lake.
do they still play Reveille in the morning and taps at night?
No,
Okay.
but
I can still remember that, and I can hear Reveille. Whew, yeah, that was quite an experience, Camp Christopher. I loved it. About the same time, you know, in the early '60s is when that song came out about Camp Granada. You're too young to remember, but it was. I mean, that was so true to form, that song. It really was. But it's a great place. Thanks for coming down. Thank you, Madam
thank you
President.
guys for everything.
Okay. It's a great way to unplug too, with no cell phones, no nothing.
No. Yes. So if there's ever a way that we can, you know, help anyone in the room or any interest that you guys have, please reach out. We'd be happy to partner. So.
Well, thank you.
Madam President,
Yes.
before we jump into the rest of the agenda, I want to take a minute. Kent, don't leave yet.
Don't leave yet, Maddie.
Come back in, Kent.
Oh,
Just for those of you who might not have had the chance to be there Saturday, the bike and hike program this Saturday was just top shelf, outstanding. Over 400 people registered. Thank you, Kent, because this is something you organize every year. It gets better and better and better each year. So you can give him a round of applause. He deserves it. And also Gloria and Christine were there and helped organize it. So thank you guys. It was just a great event for County Council. So. Aaron was there too. Oh, Aaron must have came after.
I did not do all the heavy lifting.
Well, thank you, all three of you. It was awesome.
Stephanie was there too. She rode a bike. 6, 7 miles.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
thank you for coming out, and congratulations on the 100-year anniversary.
Thank you.
There are no motions. There is one first reading. There is one first reading passage request, 2024161. Mark Potter will address council.
Good afternoon, council. You might remember last week when we were talking about, we talked about this a little bit, but in order to set the final hearing date for the Y Road project, there has to be, we had to wait until we received the final report, which we did today. Now we can go ahead and have this special meeting where we can pass this piece of legislation, which will set the final hearing date, and we'll do so with, now we have a little bit more wiggle room where we can get the letters out with the proper time frame notification to the property owners. So that's really it. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. Do we send the letters out, or does the city?
The council office sends them out, yes, with the help of Dan Brand
Okay.
from Office Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. No, there are no late filings. There's no routine legislation. There are no second readings. There are no third readings. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilwoman Elizabeth Walters, followed by a moment of silence. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call?
Mr. Smith? Ms. Hyam? Mr. Donofrio? Mr. DeVitis? Ms. Dickinson? Mr. Ford?
Here.
Mr. Wilhite?
Here.
Ms. Darrow?
Here.
Ms. Rogers? Ms. McKinney?
Here.
Ms. Walters?
Here.
First readings, 2024161, a resolution setting the date for the final public hearing and authorizing the publication and legal notices for said hearing for the proposed public improvement known as the Y Road Flood Mitigation and Improvements Project Phase 2, located in Bath Township pursuant to Section 6131.16 of the Ohio Revised Code for council emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2024-161.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2024-161. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any further business? If not, we are adjourned.
Planning and Economic Development will open at 4:41. First reading is 2024-155, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Crumroy Cozad Construction Corporation for the legal department renovation project for the Summit County Children's Services Administration building located in the city of Akron in District 4 for an amount not to exceed $198,772 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services physical plants.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants. This is going to renovate the legal department at Children's Services. We put this out to public bid. We got two bids back. One really good one, 43% under the engineer's estimate. Haven't seen anything like that for a while. Crumroy Cozad won that bid. They're very well-known contractor in the Akron area, done plenty of work for the county. So we would ask that they're able to renovate the offices. They're going to provide new conference area, 2 new legal offices, and up to eight more workstations in the legal department over there. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for members? Can I have a motion? I have a motion from Councilwoman Hyam on 2024-155. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Planning and Economic Development will close at 4:43.
Public Works Committee will come to order. We have 3 resolutions to
Yeah.
consider this evening. The first of
Excuse me,
which is-
Councilman Schmidt. We're going to allow Ms. Apostolette wants to come up and speak for 3 minutes. Okay, nope. Thanks. Sorry about that. Welcome, Ms. Apostolette.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. I'm a preacher, so I like a response. Happy belated Mother's Day to the mothers and condolences to those of you who do not have your mothers. I'm Apostolette, Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney, and I am in support of resolutions 157, 158, 159, and 161. I'm a presidential candidate for the United States of America in this 2024 election. I'm doing something new. I'm a political preacher. I would like to work with you all to not only renew and update laws, but even have some things put in place. This is my information. I've been a candidate since 2021. I have not gotten fair and equal opportunities in the law. And I believe this, and not to be an offense to anyone here, because I'm not white and I'm not a male. And this is the 5th time I've run for president. One of the things I am concerned about in your agenda items is the presentation of Children and Family Services. Someone once said that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. When these sayings were made and these laws were implemented, we had all white males making the laws in this country with white female counterparts. But we do not have fair and equal opportunities for multiracial, African American, Native or Indigenous American family members. And I know that through experience as well as through the component of working behind the desk as a probation officer, and homelessness has increased as well as mass incarceration. And Children and Family Services is not fair to we people of color. You may put things in your building, you may produce all types of things, but it's still not fair to us. And I would like to work with you to correct that. I'm not here to throw stones at anyone, because I could be on either side of the desk, and I have been. But we do need to work on this, and we need to work on this tremendously, because my ninth cousin removed General George Washington, got a conscience before he died, to free slaves. And I would like to continue that consciousness with the abolition of slavery. And this does not give people a right to break laws, but people need to be more aware. And as I stated to the council president this evening, I ask that not only you make people aware, I am the published author of Gun Violence, the Silence, and I see you have something for that in this resolution. Not only make people aware, but make people accountable and make people know that little actions that you have in place. Thank you so much for loving me and receiving me when I come down here, and I do want to work with you.
Thank you, Consulate.
And here's my information.
Yep.
Okay, we'll start again.
Okay, thank you.
So we have 3 resolutions to consider this evening. The first of which is 2024-152, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Matt Winters Excavating LLC for the replacement of the existing Ira Road Bridge over the North Fork of Yellow Creek, located in Bath Township and Council District 5, an amount not to exceed $474,886 for the engineer, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. This is a pretty simple box culvert type bridge that needs replaced. We actually got 100% funding for it through the CEAO local bridge program, up to a max of like $700,000. And with the bipartisan infrastructure law, they upped the amount they would pay from 80% to 100%. So we got all 100% of this. And we sent out 7 bid packages. We got 3, and Matt Winters Excavating out of Stowe was the lowest bidder. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee, members of the council, the public? Aaron, you want to move on that? Aaron moved on 2024-152. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pat, opposed? Motion carries. 2024-153, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with JD Striping and Services, Inc. for the 2024 Regional Pavement Marking Program, and an amount not to exceed $281,177.50 for the engineer, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is our regional contract for pavement marking, and the county redoes almost all of our lines on all the roads every year. The county share of this one is $244,000, and then Copley, Sagamore Hills, Twinsburg, and Bath are also joining us on this contract. We sent out 2 bid packages, and JD Striping and Services was the lowest bidder.
Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? Gloria, you want to move on that? Gloria moved on 2024-153. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2024-154, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Schadeller Construction, Inc. for the 2024 Summit County Regional Crack Sealing Program, and an amount not to exceed $131,338.84 for the engineer, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. I'm actually not sure how to say the contractor name either. Schadeller. But we did check them out.
Good.
And they're able to do the work. The county portion of this is $65,000, and then Twinsburg Township is also going on the crack sealing contract with us. And happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? John, you want to move on that? Don Frio moved on 2024-154. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Is there any other business to come before the Public Works Committee? and we are adjourned.
All right, I will call the Public Safety Committee to order at 4:50. We have one item on the agenda, 2024-156, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control, subject to the approval of the Information Technology Board, of a purchase contract with Smart Safety Software, Inc. as a best practical source for a software upgrade and 1 year of service for Scene PD software in an amount not to exceed $139,508 for the Executive Department of Public Safety and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, Lori Pesci, Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. This is an accident diagram program that we use that's incorporated with our CAD, Tyler CAD product. We purchased it under our original Tyler contract, and now we're moving out from underneath that contract and just contracting with the vendor. And it's for the annual maintenance and some upgrades to the product, and would be paid for through the CAD cost user fees.
Any questions from members of the committee? Other members of council? Public? All right, do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And I will close the Public Safety Committee at 4:50.
And I'll open Health and Human Services Committee at 4:51. We have first up 2024-157, a resolution declaring Friday, June 7th, 2024 as Gun Violence Awareness Day in Summit County to honor and remember the victims and survivors of gun violence, and to join in calling for the prevention of gun violence by wearing orange for the executive and declaring an emergency. Please come on up.
Good evening, I'm Heather Trunka, and on behalf of Akron Children's Hospital, we recognize the alarming rise in gun violence in Summit County, and the statistics are alarming. According to data from Akron Children's, firearm-related injuries skyrocketed by 124% from 2019 to 2021. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They represent families torn apart and futures extinguished. Considering statistics from the Center for Disease Control, gun violence and firearm injuries are the leading cause of death in children ages 1 to 19. And in 2022, there were 48,000 firearm-related deaths. That's about 132 people dying every single day. Firearm injuries are among the top 5 causes of death for people ages 1 to 44, and tragically, firearm homicide rates are the highest among children ages 10 to 44. The effects of gun violence in our community go well beyond the physical injuries. People who survive firearm injuries report problems with thinking, memory, emotion, and chronic conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. And shootings at public places affect the sense of safety and security in our community too. We must act to protect our community, and one crucial step is reducing the access to lethal means, such as firearms. Nationally, 1 out of every 3 homes with children have a gun, and 43% of those homes have at least one unlocked firearm. Not only that, the presence of a firearm in a home significantly increases the risk of suicide, even among those juveniles with no previous psychiatric diagnosis. Let us commit to securing our firearms and protecting our children from these preventable tragedies. This resolution before us today is a crucial step forward towards addressing this epidemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trunka. Any questions from members of the committee?
I don't have a question, but if I could for
Yes,
a moment.
please,
I
go
want to
ahead.
thank you for your efforts and for coming here today. As you all know, this is a cause that has always been near and dear to my heart. And it can be very frustrating to be sitting at our level of government and not have a lot of power in our hands to do much about the things that we know that can be done to reduce gun violence, but we continue to work to find ways that we can make our communities safer, and I want to particularly recognize the Department of Public Health and Commissioner Skoda, because they've done some excellent work on the safe storage issue this year, and I just want to thank you for all that you are doing. We're going to keep trying to do everything we can to make our communities a safer, less violent place, so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any members of the council? Any questions?
Council as a whole.
Council as a whole? Okay. We have a motion from Mrs. McKinney on 2024-157. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks for coming out. Next up is 2024-158, a resolution declaring Saturday, June 15th, 2024, as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Summit County, and encouraging residents to participate in any events and programs designed to raise awareness of and prevent the abuse of older adults for the executive and declaring an emergency. Terry.
Good afternoon, Terry Burns with the County Executive's Department of Job and Family Services. Saturday, June 15th, Elder Abuse Awareness Day, Wear Purple. Since that's not on a work day, we'll do Wear Purple on Friday and on Saturday. You'll see signs on buses rolling out during the month of June. We also work with some of our local pizza shops, and they put half-page ads on their pizza boxes in June just to get the word out. Apparently it's working because our calls are up this year to our Adult Protective Services hotline. Our unit has 10 investigators, full-time investigators, and 3 full-time management staff. Amy Cooper is our manager of Adult Protective Services, and she's here tonight. We partner with the Sheriff's Office, the Prosecutor's Office, and Probate Court, along with various community agencies like Direction Home, Vantage Aging, and United Way 211. We take about 2,000 hotline calls annually and screen about half of those in. The bulk of the allegations are self-neglect, followed by exploitation, neglect, and abuse. Any questions?
Terry, when you say abuse, is this physical abuse predominantly, or is it a combination?
It could be medical or physical by someone other than themselves.
Okay. And if someone is being challenged by a family member for financial support, people taking advantage of elderly, taking money from them, that kind of thing, do we have any program that can go after those folks? Oftentimes it's family members, sometimes it's neighbors, sometimes it's just people out there that are less than honest folks. How can we help seniors avoid that kind of exploitation?
There's a lot of trainings out there in the community. I know Direction Home educates folks all the time on that kind of stuff, and Vantage Aging. And we do have 2 sheriffs dedicated to our Adult Protective Services unit and 1 prosecutor now. That's fairly new that we added a prosecutor, so they are doing more to go after these folks.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Do you ever get complaints from, like, let's say, nursing homes or assisted living where they have an Alzheimer's unit? Do you ever get that?
Yes, absolutely. And hospitals.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Have you seen any calls as a result of Esther's Law? The video?
Come on up, Amy.
I don't know the answer to that. That's why we brought the expert. Sorry.
Amy, just state your name, please.
My name is Amy Cooper, Program Manager with Adult Protective Services.
Thank you.
We actually don't handle the calls that are coming from a nursing home or assisted living. That's handled by the ombudsman. So we do get those calls a lot, but we cross-refer to them. Law enforcement can be included as well, but.
And the ombudsman program comes through Direction Home, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm glad there's a coordinated effort and everybody works as a team to protect our older adults. Thank you for the work you do. I'd like to be a co-sponsor on.
Council as a whole? Everybody okay? Okay.
And I'll move.
And Ms. McKinney moves on 2024-158. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Next up is 2024-159, a resolution declaring the month of June 2024 as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month in Summit County, and to raise awareness about Alzheimer's disease and other brain diseases and dementias for the executive and declaring an emergency. Nathan.
Hi, everybody. Ethan Lauer, the County Executive's Office, Department of Administration and Public Information. So I'm here to talk about Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, and it's a great time to do an update on Dementia Friendly Summit County. Unfortunately, my colleagues from Dementia Friendly couldn't be here today, so I'll do my best to supply you with what we've been doing, and then I can take any questions back to them if I can't answer. So in 2023, Summit County became Dementia Friendly. So that's a coalition of partners first convened by now retired Deputy Director of the Akron Summit County Public Library, Barb White. She remains involved and does trainings for us. But members include the library, the County Executive's Office, Summit DD, Summit County Public Health, Direction Home, and more, plus some care partners and residents with dementia. So dementia friendly is super important. As many of you may know, over 7 million people in the United States have Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia. And as people continue to age longer, which is a good thing, there are likely going to be more cases of dementia because those correlate. So we think this is a really important initiative to have in our county, and dementia looks different for a lot of people, but everyone with dementia deserves a vibrant and connected life. So that's why we're spearheading this initiative. So we've hosted 29 Dementia Friends trainings. So that's like a national accredited training for 599 people. Most of these are through employers who want to train their employees, but we've done a couple public ones now. So there's been a lot of interest. And we hope Dementia Friendly will continue to expand and grow. We're focused on 4 beats, so 4 areas. The first, changing the narrative of a dementia diagnosis, ensuring our community spaces are welcoming for folks with dementia and their care partners. And the library has done a lot of that. Last year, they launched their Memory Cafe, relaunched their Memory Cafe series. They've done a lot of work. And then giving voice to the lived experience of folks with dementia in personal and community decision-making, and then educating community partners through Dementia Friends trainings, which we're doing a lot of. So yeah, any questions?
Ethan, real quickly, with this initiative, is this tied into the Unitas program so that folks can cross-reference if something comes into the system and we know somebody's suffering from an issue, where we can connect them up to the source, or is it the individual or the individual's family has to contact us first?
So I would have to look into that. I would assume that since Direction Homes included in a lot of our partners are, that yes, it would also serve people living with dementia. But I'm sure there are still some gaps of people that don't use the system. But for any of those kind of services, they could definitely access it. So, but we could look into that too.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions from members of the committee or council?
I just wanted to say one thing that, you don't think about it, but one of the things that families have a problem with is that, so say your parents are elderly and one of them may get diagnosed with this disease, and it's a big issue with your wills and your trust and everything, because you can't change any of that once they have to go by the one, the latest one, so you can't, it is a big issue, that there's something has to be done about that, because for the living partner that oversees the care of their partner that's sick, they should make those decisions, but it's a scary situation. You don't think about those things until it's too late.
Yeah,
So,
and lots of the partners will tell you that it's about balancing someone's independence, because you want people to remain as independent as long as possible, while also understanding like we have to make good decisions for people's lives in the long term. So that's as far as I can go with my expertise,
Right.
but I would welcome you all to get engaged. Barb does an incredible job with education, and it's connected with the Ohio Council on Cognitive Health, a lot of the geriatric workforce stuff, so they know a lot about what they're doing.
Great, thank you. Council as a whole on this one?
Yes, and could I,
Yes, please, go ahead.
to your point, Rita, and this ties in with the elder abuse as well, because one of the ways that elderly people can be abused is through financial means or
Right.
legal means. And I have been a practicing attorney, or not practicing, but admitted attorney in Ohio for 19 years, and I just learned that lawyers are mandatory reporters of elder abuse. So,
Yeah.
and I don't practice trust and estates, or I probably would have known that. But, yeah, we all have a responsibility, and raising that awareness is important. So
Yeah.
I appreciate your effort.
I just think that a caretaker, a spouse that they're married, should have a little bit more rights to, make decisions if they have to change things, accordingly. You know what I mean? It's very difficult. It's a very difficult situation for a lot of families.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, have a motion?
So moved.
Who was that? Mr. Ford moved on 2024-159. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And before I close the Health and Human Services Committee, I want to recognize Ethan. A few weeks back, we had the Holocaust Remembrance Day, and the youth that were involved in it were just beyond impressive. Thank you for your efforts, Ethan. It was a magnificent program, and I understand you were very instrumental in coordinating that whole event, so thank you for that.
Thank you, and Andrew too.
Oh, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. Okay, I will close Health and Human Services at 5:06.
And we'll open a finance at 5:06. We have one item, 2024-160, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Midwest Presort Mailing Services, Inc., DBA Midwest Direct, at state term pricing for presort mail services at the United States Postal Service. Mixed AADC presort discount rate is 0.547 cents per piece for a 2-year term and an amount not to exceed $300,000 for the Executive Department of Finance and Budget Office Services, and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Daniel Brand with the Executive Department of Finance and Budget Office Services. I'm requesting a resolution confirming the award from the Board of Control for a professional presort mail services contract with Midwest Direct for the period of 2 years. It's at state term pricing. It's with a USPS mixed AADC discounted rate at 0.547. It was 0.571 with Pitney Bowes, who is the only competitor outside of Midwest. The City of Akron is charged internally for their flats per month, and we are getting a flats discount, which the previous company, which was Pitney Bowes, didn't give us with their new contract they were trying to give us. It is 15 cents from the first class envelopes. The contract is not to exceed over $300,000 per year, or for the 2-year period, sorry.
Committee questions? Council?
Just a quick question. So this is just a change in vendor. There's no change in your process as far as...
Correct.
mail. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hearing none, motion? Ms. Hyam moves on 2024-160. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we're going to turn it over to Phil Montgomery as a finance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. Earlier this afternoon, I sent council 4 handouts that I'm going to go over as a financial review. First, we'll start with the year-end 2023 numbers. It's out of order in the stapled packet. It's actually the 3rd page in there. It should say 2023 year-to-date variances on top. So as you can see, we ended revenue in 2022 at $140.1 million. And for 2023, that number was $161.9 million. So $21.7 million increase from 22 to 23. Property taxes actually ended slightly below 2022 at $56,000. Sales tax was up 3.38% year over year, up $3.3 million. Property transfer tax was down 21.4% year over year, but as you can see in our certificate number, we were pretty close to our estimate. We thought transfer tax was going to drop to 9.2, and it dropped to 9.4, so we hit pretty close there. Charges for services was up 5.1% year over year, and investment income is really the number that is jumping out at everybody. We finished 2022 with $4.4 million. We thought we were going to hit 3.5, and we hit 15. So that was the change. The Feds changed the interest rate. It was the increases, the steady increases every quarter they did to try to combat inflation, and that translated into our bank account. And so I think our STAR account's at over 5% right now and still sitting there. No, it's been a very long time since it's been that high. And so if you think about just the different funds that we have and things are sitting in segregated accounts, I think we have about $350 million in our bond portfolio, so that we have invested. So we're doing pretty good. Investment and earnings continue to be pretty high. Yeah.
Contract services. I see an explanation to that. A big chunk of that was already out.
Correct. And it's going to happen again in 2024.
That was the big stalemate. Remember the stalemate we were at?
Oh, I know. I know.
Investment earnings, I don't remember the exact number, but it was million, 2009, 10. The Fed dropped the federal funds rate from like 5.25 to 0 back during that Great Recession. So this is the first time in 16 years that we've seen investment earnings play a meaningful role in our finance. Oh, trust me, Jim's. Keep going.
Now, the RED program, where the county invests your money, the fiscal office invests your tax, you pay it ahead of time, and then they invest the money, and then they give you the interest that they earn on it. Is that doing better? Is that included in this good news about the interest rates, that the RED program is once again
I would
worth
that's
going?
not part of those numbers, that's just general fund. They have a separate fund that the RED.
The investment's not the same.
It's probably part of the portfolio, yeah, but it gets segregated and sent its own way.
Yeah, the percentage should be the same because it's earning on the same bond portfolio.
That's good. That's a good deal. And for years, they paid so little, 0.5%, what's the point of sending your money down there early?
Right.
But if you get a decent interest rate, it'd be worthwhile to get involved in that RED program.
When that began, people wanted to make 2- and 3-year payments of their property taxes when their rates were up. We said, no, you can't do that.
This
It's a 5-month installment.
This has been, Phil and I have talked, but it's been a big boon to us the last few years, particularly being able to do some of these capital projects we're trying to get caught up on. But it's also the single biggest risk exposure we have to managing the budget long term, because if rates drop again instantly overnight, there go the revenues.
One other question, sheriff dispatch. The increase in that?
That was primarily the conversion over to the new consolidated dispatch facility.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering.
Yeah, it's personnel costs go down, but contract services go up.
And the dispatchers that separated would have been paid out their leave if they opted to, and because they were no longer county employees. They became employees of the dispatch center. So they could opt to have their vacation time paid out and some of them did.
Interesting, thank you.
So the fluctuation in interest rate, that can happen overnight, or is there any kind of a
The Fed isn't going to take it to 0 that quickly. They've been doing it in 1/4 and 0.5% increments. So for it to fall that fast is probably unlikely, but yeah, I never say never. I mean, you'll see that we continue to be conservative in our estimates as we get into the 5-year forecast.
But do you ever get any kind of a window of notice? But it can have prices overnight. Can it be overnight, or?
I would tell you in 09, it certainly seemed like it was overnight. It was within a few months. But remember, 09 that was some pretty unprecedented territory we were in with what was happening with the economy because of the foreclosure crisis.
What?
If you know it's coming and it's guaranteed it's coming, it's going to be lowered, what options do we have to kind of protect as much of the gain as we can?
Yeah, so the way the fiscal office and the financial advisors we use invest this, it really is kind of geared towards trying to maximize our flexibility when rates are low and we think they're going to go up to be able to buy, but then also locking in as they start going higher. And so we'll continue to see, because there are still a lot of maturities coming off that are at less than 1% that are going to get reinvested at higher rates. So that they do everything they can to try to maximize. You got to think of it like a big ship. It doesn't, if the Fed cuts rates, we're not immediately going to drop, but turning that big ship takes some time, but eventually over the course of the next year, you're going to start seeing earnings decline.
Yeah, we have ranges of maturities of 6 months to 3 years. It just depends on where they've locked in at. So.
It's not going to drop rates.
No, not.
Listen to the talk and what fiscal people are saying. They're not dropping rates for a while.
There's speculation this fall there might be a small one, but I'm not sure that I buy into that.
Dropping this last time.
Yeah. So anything else on the earnings on that? So to Brian's point, what we're doing with the investment earnings is allowing us to do these kind of one-time capital projects. So we don't bake a lot of that into our overall long-term budget, which is why our transfers in and transfers out numbers fluctuate throughout the year, because it's based on some of those earnings on what we can move over to fund those capital projects. So on the expenditure side, quickly, we ended 2022 at $141.7 million. And 2023 at $160.5 million, again, based on those interest earnings. And you can see at the bottom the driver of those expenditures. So we did have transfers out and advances out, transfers out to the capital projects and advances out to DS3, sanitary sewer services. So any other questions on 23 before I move into 24? All right, so the first page in the packet is the 2024 year-to-date variance. So this is our one-year forecast. So this is where we think we're going to end this year, and then this page drives the next page, which is the 5-year forecast. So just going through the one-year forecast, looking at where we have property taxes, we believe that we're going to end up 24.8%. That is because of the sexennial reappraisal. Looks like we're going to gain about $5.6 million in property tax. Sales tax, we continue to forecast it at a 1% increase year over year, and that you'll see that across the 5-year forecast. Property transfer tax, again, until the interest rates change and people start refinancing again, we're going to continue to see a decline. So we've got that declining at 1.1% to get through the end of this year. Casino tax is estimated to be up 2.2%, whereas charges for services are going to drop about 3%. Investment income, you can see, from the prior year estimate or kind of forecast on that, we had it at 3.5. We did bump it up to 11.5 because those interest rates aren't going to drop, and we do have a lot of longer maturities in our bond portfolio, but we didn't bring it up quite to where we think we're going to end the year. So we've got it up over last year at about $550,000 as a minor increase in investment income, but again, still above the forecast we had for this year. And then all other income shows a drop of 32.7%, but that does not take into any of those year-end transfers out or transfers in or advances in. So that's why that number looks like it's down significantly. On the expenditure side, we have salaries going up 4.6%, benefits going up 10.7%. We're really hoping this is the last year for double-digit increases on our healthcare premiums. We've got 5% baked in for the rest of the 5-year forecast, which is kind of where we were prior to the last 2 years. So hopefully we'll see that come down. Professional services, we have sneaking down just a little bit. Utilities is up 12.8%, and our last one is the all other expenditures. Again, this one shows down because until we do those advances and transfers, we don't spend that money. So those two will increase and decrease at the same rate as we go through that. So you can see at the bottom there are a couple of footnotes on the revenue and expense side. So our local government tax is up a little bit on the revenue side. Our legal defender costs and we changed our inmate healthcare providers at the jail, and that contract was a little more expensive in 2024. And then you'll see we do have a little bit of an increase again this year for Oriana House. So this is where we are through April actuals and where we think we'll end 2024. That page flips into the next page, which is the 5-year forecast. It's the Bureau of Children with Medical Handicap. It's something that needs to be updated in terms of a name. It used to be the Crippled Children's Fund, so they've made a little bit of progress.
Medically fragile children.
So that you see that one in there at the 1.4 million because we are obligated to pay that through an unfunded mandate at the state, but we are able to work a combination of things out with Children's Services can absorb those costs and get offset by the money we transfer from JFS. So that moves it off the general fund as an expense.
We talked about that years ago, going back to the state and trying to have them do something. We may want to have CCAO address that again.
Several years ago, we talked to them, and it was interesting. Most of the other large urban counties were kind of looking at us like, why? And so when I was like, well, how are you handling this? Because it was going up significantly, and they said, oh, our children's services board, they pay that through their levy. And I was just like, really? That's at the same time Phil was initiating this program with the state and with the other counties about trading Title 20 funds. And the amount of money we were sending to CSB, we said, hey, you know what, we have an ask in return. And so we had to, basically we're trading off funds and responsibilities so that that can be covered through their levy dollars.
Are we still doing that to the degree that we were doing it?
Yeah, I think it's down just a little bit, but it's still close to 2 million every year.
Yeah, because, I mean, this was here, it was 6 million. I can remember running the address at CCA.
Yeah, so it's,
The public assistance mandate's still 4 million. So there's two essential unfunded mandates. Well, three if you count the 33% of CSEA. But you have the BCMH, the medically fragile. You have the public assistance, so job and family services. There is still a county mandated share of $4 million every year that the county pays as a part of that. And then there's a match with CSEA. I think right now we're looking at having to give them $700,000 for this state fiscal year that ends next month. So there's a few of them out there that are still there. So in total, it's probably still at that 6-7 million mark. Okay, so the 5-year forecast, the 23 actuals are on here. The 24 forecast that we just went over is there, and then you'll see we have 25 through 2028 forecasted on here. Looking at the bottom, you can see on the revenue side, we've made assumptions of, again, a 1% decline in transfer tax in 24, and then we show 2% in 25, and then returning to some growth in 26 through 28. Sales tax is a 1% growth across the board over all 5 years. Property tax, again, we have that 25% increase in 2024, but we dropped that down to 1.5% in the future years because the sexennial will have settled in by then. Indigent defense reimbursement, it's still sitting at 85%, but we went a little conservative and dropped that down to 80 in case the state biennium doesn't continue to fund it at that level. We hope it stays the same. Every year, we also include a transfer out of the title fund and out of the building standards fund. We didn't end up taking those in the COVID years because of where we were with the federal dollars, but we did switch back to that in 2023, and we'll continue to do that in 24 if we need to. On the expense side, we have the third year of the FOP contract. We'll have a 3% increase in 2025, and then in 26 through 28, we drop down to our standard 2.5% for budget. I mentioned on the healthcare premium side, I'm hoping to be at the 5% across the board, which is our typical. And then looking at the Board of Elections, we increased the budget for them, I think, by $800,000 for this year because of the presidential. Then I lower it by that amount going into the odd years and take the state, so 26 when it's a state election but not presidential. We don't need to add 800, we add about 600. So there's some fluctuation in the Board of Election salaries. And then across the rest of the expenditure categories range from 2 to 3% increases year over year. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions on the 5-year forecast. You'll see we're about even in 25 and 26, and then we start showing a little bit of reserve spend in 27 and 28 as we look to finalize those numbers. We'll continue to keep this updated. And then the last page in here is just kind of an FYI. All of the major funds, these are the cash balances as of April 30. You'll notice that there are a few with some negative numbers, and I did look all those up prior to this meeting. Those are all timing reimbursement issues. So property tax, or the general fund, you can see it shows unencumbered cash of $13.5 million. That's because our first half property tax didn't hit until May, so that's a timing issue, so that's all fixed. Sheriff's Rotary is open AR and a recent large vehicle purchase. Job and Family Services and Child Support, those are timing of reimbursements from the state. The prosecutor DTAC, that was rectified in May. There was a $900,000 payment that went into that fund in May with the property tax. And then sanitary sewer services, that is again They cut over to a new utility billing system, so there's some timing in when revenue is recognized on the utility billing. I think they're about work through all those kinks. So that fund balance is positive as of today. So that's there if anybody has any questions. And with that, Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time.
How's our bond rating looking?
We are still stable. So I was just explaining to Brian the other day, I got an email from Standards & Poor. Our bond rating is the same. It's the second highest you can get. AA plus. The only reason why we can't get AAA is because we can't raise our sales tax. So that continues to be the case, but Standards & Poor's let us know that they changed our outlook from stable to no outlook because apparently they're only rating people that have debt of over $250 million. So I don't ever want to be in that place, so they can keep not rating me.
So what is the, if I may follow up on that, what, that, at least $250 million in debt, so, I mean, is that a criticism of us that we're not investing enough money in capital? Or
No,
we just won't mess around with somebody?
We're just too little.
Too
in the
small,
debt
we're small
market.
fish?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll continue if, every time we issue debt, new debt, we'll go get a new bond rating, but as long as our outlook doesn't change too much. They ask for our annual audited financial statements every year that we send to them, so they do a kind of cursory review to make sure nothing's changed dramatically, but they're just not going to provide an economic outlook anymore unless you're higher. So, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll close finance out at 5.
No, actually, that's it, right? That is one I never thought about. See you next Monday.
Hi, John.
We haven't gone up, historically, it's like once every 6 years with us.
Yeah. So your event was nice? Yeah, oh yeah. Did they turn out? The weather was nice. Had a little overcast morning.
No, I know, I was mad when we waited.
It was raining in Cook Forest like almost all weekend.
It's 3 something, but it was 2. Like if we would have done it in 21, we'd have saved.
We were planning to do it.
Did you get a hold of Jonathan yet?
Stowe City Council and
Okay.
everybody to approve all the agreements and sign everything, and so we did a refund and waited on.
He's interested in golfing.
And then as soon as that happened,
Okay.
it started going